I would very much like to share a story about a moment that happened recently. It really had me shaking my head, laughing, and just sitting in awe of how things always seem to line up perfectly, even when we least expect it. So I was with my siblings. It was my godson's birthday. We were there. I was with my sister, my brother in law, hanging out, doing what we do best, laughing, joking around, trying our hardest not to get too serious about life. Me and my siblings, we're pretty chill, down to earth people. And when things get too serious, we're the first ones to roll our eyes and try to crack a joke. So that's just how we cope. So my mother, bless her, had these little scripture cards that she had bought. You probably seen them. They're like little tarot cards for Christians. They're these small cards with little Bible verses on them, meant to bring a little dose of inspiration to your day. And so she handed them out to each of us. And let me tell you, when we read what we got, child, we couldn't help but not only laugh, but nod in agreement, right? It was almost as if the cards knew us. Have you ever had those days? You ever had those moments where the universe just shows up and says, excuse me, yep, you, this is for you. Well, that's exactly what happened. And for like my brother-in-law Tim, he pulled the fruits of the spirit, which is in Galatians, I think the fifth chapter. The fruits of the spirit, love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness. I'm missing one. Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. I think that's all of them. There's nine, right? Anyways, then my sister got love your enemies, right? What is that verse? I don't even know the whole verse. Maybe it's in Matthew. I'm not used to that verse. I think it says like love your enemies, pray for those who mistreat you, all kinds of stuff. And then me, little old me, just jack.com. I got the Proverbs 3, I think. Um, Lean not on your own understanding, but in all your ways acknowledge God, and God will direct your path. And we had a good little laugh about how fitting those verses were for each of us. Because here's the thing, excuse me, it wasn't just that these scriptures fit us, it's that they were little reminders of who we already are. Deep down, even when we sometimes forget, like my sister, for example. She's the most loving person you'll ever meet, even to people who've done her wrong, especially to people who have done her wrong. But I think she forgets how much love she actually gives out. And this might sound familiar to you. And my brother in law, he's got all the fruits of the Spirit in spades. All of them. All of them. But sometimes I'm sure he'll be the first one to tell you that he's not patient enough, or he's not gentle enough, or that he has no self control. And then there's me, little old me. And I'll admit, I'll be the first one to admit, I have a very, very, very bad habit of trying to figure things out on my own, leaning on my own understanding instead of trusting my God to guide me. You see what I mean? These verses weren't about telling us who to be. They were reminding us who we already are. And what's wild is that we haven't been to church in a month of Sundays. Well, I haven't. My sister has. I think my sister has been going to the church house, but I personally haven't. You know, I'm no different than most of the heathens out there that don't go sit in the pew. Especially the world right now, life can be busy, life can be messy, and let's be real, life can be complicated. But in that moment, It felt like a little nudge from the universe saying, hey, hey, don't forget who you are and whose you are, because God's love, God's love is everlasting. It's steady, right? And it doesn't matter if you're hollering at the church or just sitting in the pew or what I say, it doesn't matter if you're hollering in the church house or sitting on your couch cracking jokes with your family. You're never outside of God's love. It is always there. And that's what I love about moments like this. They remind us that there's no such thing as coincidence. There's a word for it, and I talk about it often. The word is kairos. It's a Greek word, and it translates to God's perfect time, God's perfect timing, always in God's perfect timing. And that's exactly what this was. It was a kairos moment. It was like a puzzle piece snapping perfectly into place. Reminded me that there's an order to all of this. There's a bigger picture to all of this, even when it doesn't feel like it. You know, sometimes stuff happens. Okay, sometimes the days get rocky, the days get long. What does Shaka Khan say? Shaka Khan said it best. She said, shit happens in God's time. Okay. And let me tell you, that timing, it's always wild. It's always wild timing, but somehow it's just so perfect. Ain't that how God is? You know, what is that song that Della Reese sings? The Lord moves in mysterious ways, his wonders to perform. God works in mysterious ways, all right? God works in mysterious ways. And I myself, I've been working on this daily devotion. I've been creating this daily devotion, excuse me. And let me tell you, that verse I got when it said, lean not on your own understanding, was like a flashing neon sign for me. It got me thinking. It really got me thinking, how often do I start my own day without even checking in with my God? Okay. I've been hanging out with lots of people. Well, I always hang out with lots of people, and lots of times I spend the night at these people's houses. So I see what people do first thing in the morning. They check their phones and they go right on their phones. I am not one of them. I check in with myself. But you know, how often do I start my day without even checking in with my God? Am I aligning myself with divine timing? Or am I out here running around like a chicken with its head cut off, trying to figure it all out on my own? Because getting into, I'm always in alignment, I feel. I'm always a happy camper, but it's when I'm out of alignment. Oh, you will know. You will know. I'm short tempered. I'm easily annoyed. I get mean. I get nasty. I am not my usual happy go lucky, just jack.com self. Okay. But the trick isn't just about getting into alignment, it's recognizing when we stepped out and then finding our way back. So you may want to write that down. Recognize when you're out of alignment and then find your way back. And here's the thing about divine timing. It shows up in the most simplest ways. It could be a text from a friend when you're feeling down. It could be a sudden burst of inspiration, or even that last minute phone call that you weren't expecting saying, congratulations, you got the job. It's those little moments, these moments, they're like puzzle pieces fitting together in ways you couldn't have planned, but make perfect sense in hindsight. So here's what I encourage you to do. So first, set a daily reminder on your phone. Set your alarm on a specific time each day, just to check in with yourself or your God or your higher power and ask. It doesn't have to be deep. It doesn't have to be deep. Just a quick moment to say, hey, am I in alignment right now? And if not, get your butt back into alignment. Find how to get back into alignment. Sometimes it's just stop, breathe, and just realign, the chakras, realign the body, recognize what is going on, recognize what is outside of you that is bothering the inside of you, and give a little tune up and tune in, or tune in and tune up. The second, start practicing gratitude in a fun way. Okay. Whenever something good happens, big or small, remember there's no such thing as big wins. There's no such thing as small wins. Everything's a win. Say to yourself, I'm winning. If it's small, I'm winning. If it's big, I'm winning. Because guess what? You're winning just by still being on this conversation, by still listening to little old me. And lastly, keep an eye out for those little Kairos puzzle pieces, those little God moments, those little moments that happen in God's perfect timing, those little moments that remind us there's a bigger plan at work in this huge puzzle. And when you notice one, say to yourself, yes, Queen, I'm winning. I'm winning. And message me and share it. I love to celebrate wins. I love when you guys message me and say, guess what I did today? Or guess what happened to me today? Or I was part of the miracle today, justjack.com. Message me. And even if it's not, even if you're feeling like you need a little extra direction, hit me up. Hit me up and I'll have my mama pull a card for you. A Christian card, a Christian tarot card. Many times, so many times, my friends and family members, they'll call me or they'll text me and they'll say, pull a tarot card for me, Jack. Jack, pull a tarot card for me. What do the cards have to say? And it's always the perfect card at the perfect time. Kairos, right? God's perfect timing, even in the tarot deck. So feel free to reach out to me anytime. I'll pull a card for you. The first one's free. The first one's free. But if you want a whole reading or a whole spread, well, honey, I got to eat. So y'all, I'm going to charge you. You have to pay me for that one. But don't worry. It's not very expensive. And it's always, always well worth it. All right. Let me get out of here and back to working on this daily devotional we've been working on. If you haven't signed up for it yet, make sure you sign up for our email list. justjack.com/email, justjack.com/email. Yes, that's justjack.com with 2 S's because one just ain't enough. Because that's how we'll be sending out these daily devotions. We'll be sending them out. So check your emails for these daily devotions. That's my story, I guess. A simple deck of scripture cards turned into a whole reminder of God's perfect timing. And the fact that we're never too far gone to feel the love of divine guidance. We're never too far gone to feel the love of God. We're never too far gone to be out of the reach of love, right? Even when life feels chaotic, the pieces are always falling into place. You just have to trust the process. Laugh along the way. And remember, you're always winning in God's time. I'll see you on the next tape. Make sure you sign up for our newsletter at justjack.com. And until then, I bid you adieu. Lots of love. Peace out. Bye, Felicia.